I'm Sandra Adler. I'm a retired elementary school teacher and counselor and a spiritual consultant. I live in La Quinta, California, which is near Palm Springs. Life is worth living when you know your reason for being here. Back in 1976, I took a sabbatical leave from my school district to get my PhD at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor in guidance and counseling. And I chose guidance and counseling because all the wise people who knew the answers to life were the people that I would be researching for my dissertation. Because I figured somebody had the answers why I wasn't happy with my life. And I knew that there was more, but I didn't know what else there was. During that time, I went to an Inner Peace Movement lecture with a friend who talked me into going. And in that lecture, I heard answers to the questions, who am I? Why am I here? Where did I come from? And where am I going? These are things that I had never heard anywhere else, and it was really enthralling to me. Also, the lecturer talked about a technique she could show us how to communicate 2 ways with our angels, our spiritual helpers. I knew I didn't have any angels, because if I had angels, my life wouldn't have been so rough. If I had somebody helping me, I wouldn't be so unhappy. I was skeptical, I didn't believe in angels, but I took a chance and I had an appointment to learn to communicate with my helpers. And during that appointment, she said to me, now that I've shown you how to talk to them, why don't you ask them some questions? Ask them if they love you. I did, and I received such a powerful response, a positive response. I just broke into tears, uncontrollable crying, sobbing, and all I could think of was, how could these angels, who I didn't even believe in, love me when my mother and father didn't? I began sharing spiritual things at that point. It took me to 4 tours around the world. One time when I was in Birmingham, England, I was standing greeting people who were registering for my program. And a lady came up to me and said, I was going to commit suicide yesterday when I heard you on the radio. And you were talking about how you wanted to commit suicide because you didn't know your purpose in life. But you went to an inner peace lecture and you heard all this information. She said, I thought, well, maybe I'll come to the lecture and then I'll commit suicide tomorrow. After the lecture, she came up to me and asked me for a private consultation to learn to communicate with her angels. And during that consultation, she learned that her purpose in life was to help other people who wanted to commit suicide learn their purpose in life. Needless to say, she did not follow her plan to commit suicide. Because life is worth living if you know your reason for being here. I found that the answers were not in those books. I had all my answers inside. So what I want you to do now is to think of all the things you love to do and write them down. Look at your list. See if you can come up with a creative way to make a business out of all of that, where you can do what you love to do and earn your living doing it. For example, I was a theater major undergraduate. I loved to act. I love to travel. I love to share my spiritual experiences. And most of all, I love to help people. So, I have this business where I travel around the world talking about spiritual things and helping people. Because life is worth living when you know your reason for being here.